How much in total sales do you think you've done?
In the past 6 months, it's been 1.7 million in sales.
And out of that, you've done how much do you think in commission?
240. I got a notification that I was eligible for the TikTok Shop affiliate program, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I applied, I got accepted. I was scrolling through TikTok and I see a girl with a dress that I already owned. I already had made a video on it, and I'm like, okay, I'll just throw it up and see what happens. And by the next day, I had 1 million views. I had videos stolen so many times. I had one taken off of TikTok and put on Instagram. I don't even recognize the company. The stuff that I'm wearing is not even from that company. So I filed a copyright infringement report on Meta, and they actually took down their accounts. So it was like a big company. They completely blocked their accounts. The CEO reached out to me. They're like, hey, if we give you $1, can you like retract that? And I'm like,
welcome back to another episode of the Social Army Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce, and today we have a pretty unique guest with us, somebody who actually dove into TikTok Shop not really knowing a whole lot about it, and her first TikTok Shop video went viral, which is pretty insane to see. She had a good background in Amazon and in another platform called LTK, so it was a really easy transition for her moving over to this. And TikTok Shop has just been able to take off for her and be able to provide a pretty good living. And like always, I don't like to waste a lot of time before getting them on, but before we do, I want to throw out a couple of disclaimers for you guys here. TikTok Shop is not a place where you can just come on and get rich quick. I want to make that very, very clear. A lot of the results that we talk about inside this podcast are not typical results. Okay. It's not that they're impossible, but a lot of the people we do interview have results that are extreme and they're not typical for every user on the platform. However, that does not mean that it is impossible. So keep that in mind. And also anything that we talk about in this episode is not financial advice. So please do not take it as such. But again, before we dive too deep into everything, and I want to give a warm welcome to Gisselle. Gisselle, if you would.
Bryce, thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what got you into all this.
So I've been a wedding photographer for about 16 years. That's always been my passion. I love photography, but I've also always been into fashion. I love putting together outfits, and I was actually born and raised in New York City. So growing up in Queens, there's so many boutiques and so many places to go shop. I ended up moving to Illinois pretty young, and I think I was like 19 or 20 when I moved to Illinois, and there's like nothing here. I live like in the middle of farmland. So I started to do all my shopping online. And a lot of my friends back home eventually would see me post on social media, and they'd be like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? And, I'd send them all my links. And then one day, my one friend that I've had for like my whole life, she's like, why don't you start posting on a public account and just make commission off of it? And I was like, nah, I don't want to get into that. Like, I have friend requests for like years that I've never accepted because I've always been very private. Like, I meet you one time, that doesn't mean I'm going to add you to like my private social media. That's for my family, my parents, to see my kids. So I just never really paid attention. And one day me, her, and another friend went out. And my friend's like, listen, you need to send me the links to all your like your top, your shoes. She's like, you see, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. So I dove right in. I actually started managing social media for other people just because I feel like that came very easily to me. So I started giving advice on what to do. And a lot of them grew their social media a lot. They grew in following, they got sponsorships. So I just didn't want to do it for myself. My friend, she started hounding me about it. My teenage daughter, she started telling me like, Mom, why don't you do this? Could be amazing for you. I'm like, fine, I'll give it a shot. I didn't tell anybody. I opened up a new Instagram and I started with Amazon and LTK. Almost exactly a year ago. It was last October that I started with Amazon and last November that I started with LTK. And I was just kind of posting on TikTok Shop, whatever I was posting there, just to see if it would do anything. Like for me, I had no idea about TikTok Shop. I just thought that you made money off of views. And I'm like, oh, maybe one day something will go viral here and I'll just make money off of views. It'll just be an extra. Because at the time I was doing, like I said, Amazon, LTK, and I was doing UGC. So I was also like, getting money privately through brands collabs. So they'd give me something to promote and they would use it for advertisements. So I was making more money on brand collabs than actual commission on LTK and Amazon. So TikTok was just kind of like on the side, like whatever. Mm-hmm. So I got a notification that I was eligible for the TikTok Shop affiliate program. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I applied, I got accepted. And this was March 1st. I was scrolling through TikTok and I see a girl with a dress that I already owned. I already had made a video on it. And I'm like, okay, I'll just throw it up and see what happens. It was not even a talking video. It was just me wearing the dress. And by the next day, I had 1 million views.
Oh, that's insane.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy because I mean, the commission was maybe like 60 cents on
Oh,
that dress. It was like, I mean, I didn't know anything about it. So for
right,
me, I was
right.
like, oh my gosh, that's cool. You know, in a month, I made like $1,800 off of this one video. And I was so excited. I was like, okay, let me see what this is about because clearly this is not what I had in my mind. And it just grew from there. I just started posting more and, sharing my love of fashion and beauty. And it just took off.
That's amazing. So, in your initial growth on TikTok, you weren't in it to get into the TikTok shop. You
No.
you had a completely different understanding of what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
So, while doing that, how did you grow? You just were posting all of your already posted videos on the other
Yeah.
platforms
Anything that
on
I
TikTok?
posted on Instagram, I was posting on TikTok shop.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I started in October and it wasn't until February that I got to 5,000 followers. But again, I really wasn't even trying
Trying,
to grow.
right.
I was just like, if it does anything, fine. But I was doing pretty well with private brand collabs. I was making probably about $10,000 a month just on that.
That
So
was
I
just
was,
like UGC style stuff,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's going pretty well. So I really wasn't paying much attention to TikTok until that video took off. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like
Right.
I'm making more commission on here than I am on Amazon and LTK. So let's give it a shot.
That's awesome. So with Amazon, was I'm sorry, not Amazon, LTK. Can you? I've never heard of LTK before. Can you kind of dive a little bit into what that
Yeah,
is?
so LTK is an app where you can follow your favorite creators. I've actually been on the consumer side. I've had the app for I think almost 10 years.
My goodness.
Yeah, that was my way to, look for outfits, find links, but you can link anything. You can link furniture, you can link, any household items, anywhere from Home Depot, Target, Walmart, anywhere. You can
So
link anything. So it's really convenient because it's like all in one spot. So I use it as a consumer. Once I got accepted, I started posting on there and getting commission off of that as well. And now they have means to do like private brand collabs on the app, which is super cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like that and Amazon were kind of like your taste into the whole affiliate marketing side of things,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I assume that kind of got you a little bit hooked too.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
that's awesome. So since you've been on TikTok Shop, you said you got accepted in March. You've been
Hmm.
doing TikTok Shop now for 9 months roughly,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
In that 9 months, how much in total sales do you think you've done?
Well, in the past 6 months, it's been 1.7 million in sales. Probably close to two if you include the months that I can't see, because it only lets you go so far back as
Right.
six
It's so
months. So
frustrating. I don't know why it
yeah,
does that.
yeah,
But so in 6 months, you've done $1.7
yeah.
million in sales.
Hmm.
So that's incredible. And out of that, you've done how much do you think in commission?
240,
Wow.
240,000. Yeah, in the past six
So
months.
just in half a year. So you're looking at about a half a million
Yeah.
dollar year,
Yeah. Well,
leading
that's
into the
off
next
of
six
my one
months.
account, and that's not
Uh-huh.
including Amazon, ATK, or private collabs as well. So
That's
only TikTok shop on my
absolutely,
main account.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. The fact that you were able to capitalize off of that. Now, you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier you didn't do a lot of talking in your videos in the past. Do you talk
No,
in your videos now?
I do. And I feel
Okay.
like that was a big thing to get over
Right.
because on Instagram, I didn't do it. I strictly just showed the outfit. I linked everything. I have DM automation. So if somebody comments a certain keyword, it automatically sends them the link. And I didn't feel it was necessary. I was still, making money. But I feel like on TikTok, there's more, there's more pressure to talk and to be more, I don't know, kind of like you're FaceTiming a friend, you
Right.
know.
More
So I had to
personable.
get over that. I'm very shy normally, so this was way out of my comfort zone. And like I said, I put this off for 2 years. I was like, no, I don't want to put myself out there. My friends and my
Right.
daughter, they were hounding me about it. So yeah, that's
You got some
something I
good
had to get
friends.
over. And yeah, and now I look back on my older videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was really scared to talk to the camera. But
Right.
now it's easy. I mean, I can knock out 60 videos in a couple hours.
Golly,
Yeah.
to me that's just mind-boggling. So you do a
Yeah.
lot of batch recording, but I assume it's all
Yeah.
different outfits and things, right?
Yeah, so that's tiring because you're changing a million times.
Right,
And a lot
right.
of this stuff has like, shapewear built into it. So I need my daughter to like, help me get in. And by the end, I'm like sweating and tired, but it's fun because I really do genuinely love to shop. I love clothing and um, it's
That's
it's
good.
it's fun to share that.
That's really, really good. That's awesome. And I love that. I mean, you found a passion of yours and you really took full advantage of it and were able to
Yeah.
capitalize off it monetarily, which a lot of
Mhm.
people, like you said yourself in the very beginning, a lot of people are afraid to do that kind of stuff because they don't want to put themselves out there. You know, they're afraid of
Right.
the fear of judgment and things of that nature. And,
Yeah.
you know, the internet's a ruthless place. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. Everyone has that right to be afraid of it because people are
Yeah.
very unfiltered on the internet.
Yeah.
And unless you have some thick skin, it's a little bit, you know, it's tough to get used to sometimes. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're not afraid to put yourself out there, it's amazing what it can really do for you
Yeah.
in the long run. I mean, this has probably changed your life in directions you never thought it
Yeah.
possibly could have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's amazing. So, what got you, you know, interested in joining Social Army? I mean, you've been with us now for I think 6 months,
Since
right?
June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Jake talking about it. I just, was looking around TikTok. I was browsing and I came across his live and I just found it very interesting. Like the way he was talking about TikTok. I feel like a lot
Sure.
of people think it's a get rich quick scheme. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to post something, it's going to go viral, and I'm going to become a millionaire. And that's not
Right.
how it works. You have to treat it like a business. And I feel like Social Army is very different in a lot of groups that I'm in because I feel like people are actually treating it like a business. Like if you're owning a traditional business, you're going to either invest a ton of money or money and time,
Right.
and what people don't realize is that you have to put in the time. And fun fact, I actually buy a lot of my samples.
Really?
I do. Some of my friends are like, "Are you stupid? You get all this for free." But when it comes to fashion, I feel like I don't want to be obligated to have to post something
Sure.
that I don't like, and I don't know how it's going to fit on me. Like if I already have worked with a brand several times, I'll just request samples all day because I know how it fits me. I know the quality.
Right. Right.
I know that I'm going to like it, and if I have a relationship with them, I can say, "Hey, this is not very flattering. Like I don't want to post it," and they'll remove it, and that's fine. But a lot of new stuff, I'll just buy it because I'm like, it's kind of an investment. Like I know I'm going to make money back
Right.
if I post it and it does well. But if not, I can just return it and I don't have to worry about fulfilling something that I don't like. So
That's super smart. Now,
yeah.
I have a question leading into that.
Mhm.
Do you notice a difference in traffic on your shop videos when you purchase and do an actual authentic review? Not that your other reviews aren't authentic, but
Mhm.
when you purchase it and do a review off of your purchase versus when you get a free sample and do a review off of that?
No, I haven't noticed a difference.
No? Okay. I have a working theory because right now the top affiliate on TikTok Shop, her name is Allie. I'm sure you know
Mhm.
who she, have you seen
Yeah.
her before, Lord Beauty?
Yeah.
It's all, and she, you know, is in the plus size market. So it's a very big market for sales.
Mhm.
She buys all her own stuff too. She doesn't like free
Oh,
samples.
okay.
And I think it's the same thing that you are saying. It's because
Yeah.
of, you know, if you get a sample on something and it just doesn't fit well, or it's not flattering, or you just don't like it, it's kind of hard to create a review on that. And
Yeah.
some of these companies won't respond to remove the obligation.
Right.
So you get a strike against your account,
Mhm.
which is not good because obviously you can't see your fulfillment rates, but companies can.
Mhm.
And when you have anything less than like 90%, they don't like to work with you.
Yeah.
But I've got this working theory that purchase products get better views. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Anybody who's watching this, I'm always testing things with TikTok to see, you know, what's going to get you better views. But I was just curious about that.
I would
But that's
never promote like spending all your money before you've made anything on TikTok Shop.
right.
Like look around
100%.
your house, see what you have, see what you can make. Borrow. I mean, just last week, my friend got accepted to TikTok Shop, and she lives like 5 minutes away from me. So I've already put together like a box full of stuff that maybe she
That's
can
amazing.
use because obviously she's not going to get approved for any samples now. But yeah, I would never endorse like going into debt or spending more than what you're making. But as soon as I started to get some traction, I'm just putting it back into the business. You have to treat it like a business.
You do. And once you start treating it like a business, it'll start rewarding you like a business does.
Right. Right.
It's very business oriented. I mean, affiliate marketing, sure, as it is on your own time, and you're creating videos, out of fun. This, when it gets to a certain level, is all in all a straight legitimate business.
Right.
You start forming your own LLCs and doing things of that nature. Again, this is not financial advice, so don't take it as such. But I've created an LLC, taxed as an S corp. I put all my money in a high yield savings account. I do all types of things that are going to help me get tax breaks because at the end of the day, self-employment tax is high.
Yeah.
You don't want to get hit with that. So structuring yourself properly and taking care of it and treating it as such is one of the better ways to do it. So it's good to hear other people that are along that same lines. I love that. So Would you say that being inside Social Army has helped you in a lot of ways become a little bit more successful with some of the things that you've been doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I said before, I feel like the mentality is, first of all, everybody's very welcoming. I haven't seen many people putting other people down or, um, getting made fun of for any reason. And there's people from all walks of life. Like there's 20-year-old, there's people, in retirement, but everybody seems to have that same like business mentality. I don't want to put down any other groups by any means, but there's a lot of like free Facebook groups that I'm a part of too, just to get everybody's point of view. And there's a lot of, I've been posting for a week. I haven't made any money. I thought by now I'd be able to make a few $100s, and it just doesn't work that way because I know that I did get a viral video super quickly in the beginning, but I was posting from October through March without making a single cent.
Low days can really take a toll on people, especially like you said, you were managing other people's socials and you got to see them get completely discouraged when things just started to go away.
Yeah.
Those low days, you have ebbs and flows, you have to take them with a grain of salt, and you have to understand that just because you have a low day doesn't mean that's your new norm, right? And just because you have a high doesn't mean that's your new norm as well. Consistency is key when it comes to building an online presence and when it comes to building, socials. I had explosive growth on one of my pages in the very beginning, grew to 80,000 followers fairly quickly. I'm stagnant, dead in the water. I'm getting, maybe a few extra 100 followers a day, but that's nothing in comparison to the few extra 1,000 I was getting at one point in time when I had videos doing very, very well. But does that mean it's time to give up? No, that just means it's time to go back to the drawing book and figure out what is next. How am I going to find that next video that's going to help me blow up and get a little bit more followers? So yeah, consistency is key, and that plays into everything. That plays into shop videos. That plays into it all. 100%. So I love that. And, the fact that you've been able to manage other people's socials and take what you've learned from that and apply it to yourself is great. And I think that helped you a lot too, moving into this.
As well as the photography, because lighting plays a big role too.
Oh, that's huge. In your videos, I've never seen a single video of yours that's been bad aesthetic wise. It's always your backgrounds have always looked good. Your lighting's always been great. Everything about it. And TikTok rewards, a well-lit room, a well-lit video. TikTok does not like low-quality videos. So that's really good. Really, really good. So how do you go through and choose what you're going to promote? I know you say you buy a lot of your things, but do you because TikTok's full of, low-quality brands, for lack of a better term. How do you filter out the low quality from mid-tier to high-tier?
So honestly, my SPM asked me this. He's like, how do you choose your items? Because you have so many viral videos. And I'm like, I just choose what I like and what I would wear. Honestly, I feel like clothes is a little bit different than anything else because it's simple. You either like it or you don't. You think it's ugly or you think it's cute. So I just pick what I like. And like I said, if I've worked with the brand before and I'm familiar with the products, I'll go ahead and request a sample. But if I've never worked with a brand and I'm iffy about maybe the quality or how it's going to look, I'll just buy it. And then I'll just return it if I don't like it and, keep it and donate or whatever if I end up making a video on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your only niche is clothing, right? You don't really dabble into anything else?
I have a little bit. Honestly, didn't do well for me and I didn't enjoy it. So I feel like my video production was lacking a little bit because I think that comes through. I'm not a good bullshitter. You can see it across. I feel like my face has closed caption because if I don't like something, you can pretty much tell. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of done with this. I'm just going to stick to what I like. And that's clothing and beauty. Yeah.
It's authenticity. And when you share that with an audience, they know that. And, you're a little bit of a different case. Most people on TikTok shop, they're not building their shop page to grow a following that's there for them. Cause for me, take me for example, I post everything, I post videography equipment, tripods, toys, supplements, clothing, shoes, everything. But my following isn't following me because they're like, oh, what did Bryce post? I want to go see what he posted to see what he's selling now. That's the majority of TikTok shop. However, you, on the other hand, you kind of are building not only a cult following for what you're doing in terms of showing off clothing, but also for the newer audience. So for you, I feel like you're building a pipeline that is both followers and non-followers. With your particular niche, which is important. A lot of people don't grow it that way. I forgot where I was going with that entire point. Oh, the jumping off authenticity. You're building a brand based off of you. Whereas most people are building a profile based off of what they enjoy,
Right.
which could be a plethora of different things.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And do you see a lot of returning viewers? Have you ever looked at those metrics before?
I haven't looked at the metrics, but I do recognize a lot of names of people who comment on my videos.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Or people will be like, oh, I love everything you post. Do you have any suggestions for this and that? I did see that a lot on Instagram, but now I'm starting to see it in TikTok, which is pretty cool as well, because I thought that, you're pretty much doing videos to get pushed out to the For You page. It doesn't work the same as Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, which you are. But you are also starting to get that kind of like that following behind you, which is great.
Right. And I love TikTok because, like, for example, Amazon, you go to Amazon when you need something. Like, you have a need and you go and you look for it. TikTok is not that way. You're there for entertainment and then you happen to see something that's cute and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have that dress. And then you end up buying it. So I feel like it is a little bit easier to sell on TikTok than it is on Amazon.
It is, and you're tapping into impulse as well, and if somebody has a similar body type to you, or somebody sees, something that looks good on you, and they can picture it looking good on themselves,
right?
Tapping into impulse, immediately. Right. They're like, oh my God, I got to have it. And especially with, your demographic is women. Women buy. They buy. That's one of their favorite things to do. And it's, it's, especially when it comes to clothing and things that they enjoy, they'll spend the money on it. So you're in the perfect niche for everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And not to mention that I love it.
Right. It's awesome. I love that. So what do you think has helped you along the way in developing all these skills? I mean, is it just doing it, or did you study a lot of other creators in the similar space?
I've always followed fashion creators just because I've always liked it. I've always loved fashion. So I did get a lot of inspo from other creators. But when I jumped into it, again, I had the photography background. I had the background as a social media manager, helping other people. So I just kind of put all my skills together. And the only thing I had to get over was just putting myself out there and, being okay in front of the camera. I'd never been in front of the camera. I'm the worst client for like photography. Like, my friends have done my pictures, people in the photography space that I love. And I'm like, oh, you're going to hate me because I'm the worst. I don't like getting my picture taken. I don't like being on camera. I don't like any of it. But I love taking pictures of other people, and I know how to make them comfortable in front of the camera. It's a skill that you have to have because, let's face it, most grooms hate taking pictures on wedding day, and you have to make it, enjoyable and fun. But I don't know how to do that for myself. So that's something I had to learn. I had to just get over it and just dive right in.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just diving right in is probably one of the best ways to do it too. Going feet first, head first, however you want to put it, is the best way to learn.
Yeah.
If you're going to fail fast.
Right. Yeah, the only way you're going to improve is by doing it. And honestly, even 100%. With all those skills, you go back to my early videos and they're a little bit cringy. Like, I look uncomfortable. Even though my lighting's always been pretty decent, it's not as good as it is now. So you just improve over time. Your eye gets trained. Just like when I started photography, I thought like my first few pictures with my big, like, cool camera were the best. And now I'm like, oh, I can't believe I ever thought that was good. Your eye becomes trained and you start to improve and you start to notice little things that you can do to change and improve.
That's awesome. And that's great advice because, I mean, at the end of the day, it takes time. You're not going to become good at something overnight.
Yeah.
At what point do you become a master? 10,000 hours put in.
Right.
Most people won't even put in 100 hours before they give up, So mastering your craft is all about repetition and it's all about, consistency. And if you're good at both, or if you can become good at both, you'll eventually become good at whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Right.
So, and filming yourself is a hard one because most people are not comfortable doing it. And most people, I'm staring into a camera. I'm talking to you, but you're over here.
Yeah.
My camera's right here. So, at the end of the day, you have to get used to speaking into an inanimate object like it's a person. And it's hard to do that. How long did it take you to get comfortable looking at the camera and talking to it?
Months. Sometimes I'm still uncomfortable. It's funny. I have a 17-year-old daughter and she edits my videos for me. So I pay her for editing my videos.
Oh, that's amazing.
It works out for both of us because she is in like 20 million thousand clubs and theater projects and choirs, and she's in everything. So this just works out for everybody's schedule because she can sit home, she can edit my videos. But she makes fun of me so much because she's like, I can tell at the end, you're just done. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know what I was saying. So I still am not, a pro at it, I would say. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better every day, and that's what matters.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How often does she go back through your footage and laugh at you for all the retakes that you do?
She made a blooper reel of me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to have that.
Like
blooper
literally
reel.
one time I sneezed my eyelash off and she's like, "This is gold. You need to post it." Yeah, I sneezed and like my eyelash was like hanging off. And she's like, "This is hilarious." And I'm like, "Oh, I hate you right now."
Oh, can we get that video? Can we just get that as a highlight
Maybe.
reel or something like that? Maybe. Yes, that's amazing. The fact that you sneezed your eyelash off is hilarious. Yeah. That's funny. It's creating content's fun. There was a girl who posted a video the other day. I saw it on, I think it was on TikTok. And it was her trying to get her intro right in front of a Christmas tree. And it's like, all right, guys, are we ready to decorate today? Or, something like that. But she said 50 different things. And it's so relatable because it's like, you sound like a crazy person, but to the person watching the final production video, they have no idea.
Right.
They have no idea. And the amount of times I've re-recorded a video is if you go through my camera roll, there's 50 different takes for one video, but everything I do, I try to do in one take.
Right.
But there's 50 different ones prior to the perfect take.
Oh yeah, there was a lot more editing in the beginning for sure. There was a lot of stuff cut out, and now I'm trying to get everything in one take. It doesn't always happen, but
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah.
One takes are the best though, because you feel so good after you get it done.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, okay, I nailed that. Let's go. Move on to the next.
Yeah.
It's funny. So throughout getting comfortable on the camera and really finding your way through all of TikTok Shop, there have had to have been some setbacks for you. What are some of those setbacks and how have you been able to combat them and overcome them?
I mean, a few. I think just getting through the low days. Like today's probably going to be one of my lowest days in the past 6 months.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I woke up this morning to like nothing.
Yeah. So that's it's kind of a mind game, right? You just have to not pay attention and just keep going and not like over analyze the past. Like I don't look at the videos that didn't do well. I don't look at any of that. I just see my top like 5 videos of the week or whatever, and then just try to recreate that. Just keep moving forward. Another thing is once you start TikTok Shop, you kind of get in this mentality where like, oh my gosh, I can pretty much ask for anything and it'll get sent to my house. It's like every day. But I've had to like reel it back in and realize, this is a business. I can't just, get click happy and stuff.
Anything I want. Yeah.
Right. Just like stick to what I'm good at, which is clothing, stick to things that I like and not get carried away. Because I feel like that's a draw also for a lot of people. They're like, hey, I can get all this stuff for free. Yes, that's cool. But ultimately it shouldn't be about that. Right.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. And then also like the legal side of things. Like I've had videos stolen so many times. Which is kind of discouraging because somebody stole one of my videos and it had like 500,000 views. Yeah, it was crazy. I can't imagine.
On TikTok, they reposted it on TikTok?
On TikTok. TikTok didn't do anything about it. Couldn't get it taken down. This is one of like 35 videos that have been stolen. I had one taken off of TikTok and put on Instagram. One of my good friends was like, hey, look at you. And I'm like, I don't even recognize the company. The stuff that I'm wearing is not even from that company. So I filed a copyright infringement report on Meta and they actually took down their accounts. So it was like a big company. They completely blocked their accounts. And the CEO reached out to me. They're like, hey, if we give you $1,000, can you like retract that? And I'm like, if my friend I haven't spoken to in like years saw me randomly on the web, you guys have to have been putting a ton of money into this. So I want the report on everything you guys spent on my ad, which by the way, 9 million people saw. They invested $187,000 in an ad that ran for 6 weeks. That was me modeling clothes that I didn't even get from them. It wasn't even their product. So I had to go find an intellectual property lawyer, go back and negotiate with them for a payout for me to retract the statement on Meta about the copyright infringement because they were losing money by the day. And they were definitely putting pressure on me to like go ahead and retract it. And I'm like, listen, I'm not doing anything. They're like, well, we'll give you $1,000. I'm like, you spent $187,000 using me, illegally. And
that $180,000 probably generated 4 or 5 returns.
So we went back and forth. I can't say how much we settled at because I did sign an NDA, but it wasn't $1,000. So.
God, that is absolutely, and the fact that they're using stolen property to benefit something that's not even their own brand.
Oh yeah, I've had that done with
blows
my
mind.
pictures. The week before that happened, somebody sent me a picture. I did a photo shoot of my son with like a big vintage airplane, like a real airplane, because he used to like airplanes when he was little. And some lady in Tennessee posted that on her Facebook, promoting airplane sessions with like little kids. And I'm like, that's my,
Right.
not only is that my image, that's my son. So I called her and I was like, hey, you're using my son's image. She's like, oh, the photographer gave me permission. I'm like, I am the photographer.
I'm
like,
the
what are you
photographer.
Yeah, she got really like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean anything bad by it, but I'm like, you're a photographer. You should know you can't use somebody else's images for your own advertisements. So yeah, she ended up taking it down, but people do this
Wow.
everywhere. So it's a little bit disheartening when you're just scrolling and you see like your body, because usually they'll like crop my head for these videos. So it's like
Right.
just my
Right.
body. And I'm like, oh, and they don't do anything about it. So
I mean, I found myself on Amazon. I found myself
oh
on
yeah.
Instagram. I found myself everywhere. But I didn't even know how to go about doing that and getting it removed. But that's insane. I mean, the
Yeah.
extent that you went through on a company that spent almost $200,000
Mm-hmm.
worth of ad spend on a video that wasn't even theirs on a product that's not
That's
even
not even
theirs
theirs.
is insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I mean, good for you on not backing down and not taking their pressure and letting them bully you into
I mean, it's
just giving you a
stealing.
small payout.
I know they
Like,
don't
yeah, it's
see it that
100%.
way, but it's stealing. So,
Right. No, that and it's profiting off of you and the work that you put in.
Right.
Like, I can understand if it's maybe an AI generated image, or something of that nature, but that's
And
even
well,
to that
that scares
extent.
me too, because okay, so I'm part of the Star Creator program on TikTok,
Right.
and you get like weekly emails where you can request certain samples. Well, the way they send the list, you just hit request until you get, I think it's like 3 or something per week. And it just says 3, 3 out of 3 at the bottom. You go ahead and check out, but that doesn't necessarily go into your showcase. So I ordered 3 items, and one of it was a makeup brand that I absolutely love. Like, I love this makeup brand. I'm not going to say who it is. But I love them and I use them all the time. I went to add it to my showcase after it had already been shipped, and a pop-up came up talking about you're granting them perpetual rights to anything that you post on there. And, I see that all over. Everybody works with this brand. So I went through the contract and I was like, this is insane. Like, they literally can take AI, take my image and do whatever they want. They can use my voice, they can use my signature, they can use my likeness, they can use anything, however they want. They can modify it, they can modify my voice. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. So I called him my SPM. I'm like, listen, I have a problem. And he's like, just don't do it. Your fulfillment rate is really good. Like, one is not going to hurt you. Just don't do it again. So I just let that sample fall off. I'm like, I'm not working with this brand. And
That's
I've noticed
insane.
a lot of celebrity brands do the same thing.
Well, it's
lot
because
of
they
them.
want all the advertisement they can get at
Yeah.
the expense of other people. They don't
Yeah.
want to pay for it.
And you're thinking like, oh my gosh, this famous person owns this brand, so I'm going to work with them. But no,
That's crazy.
not at that expense. Because you don't know.
I've never
Technology
seen
is
one of
getting
those.
great. Every single day it's improving. They can do the craziest things with AI. I'm not about to put myself in that position.
No, not at all. And especially
Yeah.
not signing something that gives the rights to all of your content up to them. Who knows if
Perpetual
there's
rights.
something
That's
in
really
right.
scary. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, no, screw that. That's not at all okay. That's
Yeah.
insane that these companies are even doing, and that, it's crazy. These companies will do this because they know just an everyday creator is not going to look at that. They're not going to see that.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with Spark ads on TikTok. And this is kind of a smaller subject in comparison to that. But the reason why I don't give Spark ads for more than 30 days is because the company owns the rights to the
Right.
video and they can take it and put it wherever they want
Right.
it. And then they can strip your commissions. Like, I'm not okay with that. And these companies have no shame.
Yeah.
They'll
they
just
don't
do
really
it.
care. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's insane. So beware for anybody watching this.
Yep.
Do understand that these companies will prey on creators who don't have the knowledge of these kinds of things. So please do your research. If you do end up getting into a position to where you don't feel comfortable signing something that a company sent you, don't do it. Seek legal help, seek help from other people around you, seek help from individuals inside Social Army, if you're inside Social Army, that have had to deal with some of these same things, but if it comes down to a legal matter, seek legal help,
And like I said, it's mostly celebrity brands. Like, I've gotten so many offers from brands owned by celebrities for things, and their contracts are insane. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not doing it.
It's not worth it.
But then I did talk to my SPM. I'm like, they should change that. If you request a sample, it should automatically go to your showcase, because I had requested the sample without adding to my showcase. So there was no way for me to go and cancel that sample.
Usually it does. Usually you can't even request it without it going to your showcase.
No, not on the Star Creator list.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now I make it a point to add to my showcase before I even order it, just to make sure there's no like crazy terms or pop-ups.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The only other one I've ever seen that was similar to that was O Positive, but it wasn't them saying that they owned your intellectual rights or whatever. It was them saying you'll follow promoting guidelines, FTC guidelines,
of
that nature.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all for that.
You should be doing that.
Mm-hmm. Right. If you're going to give me a product and you want me to promote it, I'm perfectly fine saying, yes, I will follow the 100%. Rules and guidelines, because I don't want to misrepresent who they are.
Yeah.
But for them to steal your, give up your intellectual property rights, get out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm so sorry you have to deal with some of the crazy shit that you've done, but it comes with the space, I guess, golly.
Yeah.
Wow. Any advice for anybody watching this on your end on things to kind of watch out for? I mean, I know we just talked about a few things there, but any other advice that you can think of, things that you may have wished you would have known prior to?
Yeah, I mean, read all your contracts meticulously. If you're not great at deciphering what it says, get a lawyer. It doesn't take much. Actually, a lot of agencies have lawyers on hand that'll help also. So that's a good resource, but I did have to find an intellectual property lawyer. In my state, you have to find somebody in your state and go through them and ask them any questions. Like, just go to a professional. As such as, taxes and all that, you have to consult professionals. Don't try to, if you're not an expert on it, don't try to do it on your own. Seek help.
100%. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, because that's something I, didn't even really know was a thing. And that's actually something I think we might bring some awareness to now inside the community, the whole.
Yeah, I did post it on the community. Thing. That's the first thing I did. I said, hey, everybody be aware of this brand, because this is what they want to do.
Right. We need to make we need to make a blacklist on some of these brands and reasons why, you should or should not work.
Oh, and it hurt me so much because I use it every single day.
Right.
I use it, and I'm a big fan of their products. I love the products, but, I'm not going to give that up.
No. And it is, it's unfortunate on their end for sure. For sure. Well, okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on from that, because that's insane. Anyway, outside of, everything that, you've kind of been through with TikTok Shop and some of the experience you've gained through, what do you think some of your favorite things about Social Army have been for you? A lot of people that I interview, a lot of the people that have joined in with us, going through the course isn't really kind of the big thing, right? Because a lot of us are already seasoned creators in that sense. And by the time they find Social Army, that's really not what they're there for. Right. What do you think has been your biggest takeaway from everything?
Oh my gosh, just the people. I feel like everybody's super nice. They're like, hey, this worked for me. Go ahead and copy this, so you can get the same result. So I love that, because nobody's gatekeeping anything. I hate that word, gatekeeping, but like nobody is gatekeeping anything. And I love that. Like I said, I was already making really good money before I found Social Army. So I joined and I stayed because I thought it was worth it. I didn't come on trying to like learn from the very beginning. But I still found enough value that I never left. So
that's amazing. I love that. And the biggest thing about, the community aspect of this is that there really isn't any gatekeeping. For example, last week, for those of you that are watching, today is the 3rd of December. So during the whole Black Friday week, there was a lot of products that were going kind of crazy viral, and everybody inside Social Army was just throwing them out there. Yeah. Hey, I had success with this. Go post a video on that. Yeah. Hey, I did well with this. Go post a video on that. And the amount of people that were able to secure some quick wealth during that week was insane. And all it takes is one video. One video can make you a shit ton of money. Yeah. One video can make you an absolute killing. And granted, those results are not typical, but if you're willing to jump on the opportunity when it presents itself and move forward with it, you're going to find the success that you're looking for. It's not very difficult to do as long as you jump on it while you can. It's and have fun while you're doing it too. But being a part of a community like that is everything.
Whether and the AMAs are great too.
Oh my goodness. Even if it's I see you in my AMAs all the time.
Yeah, I love watching. Even if it has nothing to do with fashion, there's still something you can take away from advice given to people that already have had success. And you just switch it up, and sometimes you'll be like, hey, this would be a great hook. And I'm like, that's genius. Like, that's so cool. So I love watching those.
Speaking of hooks, what do you think your favorite hooks are for videos? Do you use hooks in your videos?
I don't. No, I don't. I mean, like I said, it's clothing. So either you like it or you don't.
Right.
They get me all the time because, I'll see a friend that, posts something and I'm like, oh, I gotta go buy it now because it's so good, right? Like they reeled me in. I'm
Right.
easily influenced. But I feel like it's different when it comes to clothing. When it comes to fashion, it's just like whether you like it or not. Does it work for your body type? Does it work for you? Do you like the look or not? So I'm basically just like, hey, here's this cute top, and this is how much it is, and here's my measurements, and if you like it, go ahead and click the link.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that like the majority of your videos then?
99%, yeah.
Wow, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Now, how many videos do you post a day?
Now 3. Like
Okay.
between 3 and 5, I think is a sweet spot. Yeah.
Okay. How many were you posting?
1.
More than that?
1.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, like my first big month, I think I made like 60 something thousand in commission. I was only posting 1 a day.
Really?
Yeah. But I had a lot of
Interesting.
videos take off that month. I think I have more than 30 videos with more than 500,000 views. Some, I think one's at like 8, I have a couple at 4. So yeah, I have a few videos that have taken off.
Why do you think your videos perform so well? Why do you think they convert so well for you?
I think because I like to keep them short, good lighting, and good products.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think it has anything to do with the way you demonstrate them or anything of that nature? Or do you think it's just you're capitalizing on products and clothing that people or that women
Yeah. I mean,
enjoy?
that too, because like it's easy to show off like a dress.
Sure.
But if you're showing off pants or a shirt, you have to style it in a certain way. So you have to pick other items that go with it. Obviously,
Right.
especially like shoes. Like if you're going to put on a pair of shoes, you have to have a cute outfit with the shoes. So you have to show how you're going to wear it day to day. And I think that helps a lot. And also providing measurements so people know like what size to go for.
And I was talking to another creator. She does plus size clothing on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
The sizing metrics from say Chinese brands to American brands usually totally different. So do you think providing those measurements and things like that when you're showcasing foreign brands is a big thing?
Absolutely. I don't think I have a single video where I don't say my size, the size that I'm wearing, and my measurements, like my height, weight, and all that.
It's interesting. Do you mention the fact that like, hey, this is a foreign brand, so I had to size up or I sized down, or is it true to size?
I always
like,
say
are
that.
those things
Every time.
interesting?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, when you're doing these styling ones where you have to use multiple different accessories, do you have the ability to add multiple links to your videos?
I wish I did. I wish.
Damn, I was hoping you did.
Because I do that for like LTK, down to the
Right.
earrings, my makeup, my lip gloss, because there's always going to be somebody that's like, the outfit's great, but where's your necklace from? So I literally tag if I have a couch in the background that, I got off Amazon, I'm going to tag that too. My mirror, this is from TikTok, like everything. I wish I could do that. That's, if there was one thing I could wish for when it came to TikTok shop, it would be that. It would just make it so much easier.
Right. And some people have that ability, and supposedly TikTok is going to start slowly rolling that out because a lot of people have been getting it recently. I still don't have it. When was the last time you checked to see if you had it?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
So you're waiting.
But now actually LTK has linked up with TikTok. So I can post LTK. I haven't done it yet just because I haven't had the time. But I will be posting some LTK link, like clickable links on TikTok. The only thing is that it goes back to LTK and it goes to their commissions, not TikTok shop. So
right. It'll be a little bit different. I do get a lot of
hate because like I'll wear a shirt and they're like, oh, where are the shorts from? I don't like saying it in the comments because I don't want to get a violation. Because I have heard of people getting violations for recommending an off, platform.
It's redirection of traffic. Yeah.
So I'll just say, hey, DM me. And they're like, you're such a hater. You're such a gatekeeper. Why can't you just say it? Like I've gotten attacked. And I'm like, girl, I'm literally going to send you the direct link. And they're like, oh, are you scared of not getting like commission from it? I'm like, no, I can't say it in comments. Like,
get a violation.
Yeah, I'm not going to risk my entire account because you want it in the comments as opposed to your DMs. Like, what is the difference? I'm still giving you the information. You don't have to go through me. You see it in my link, you can still choose to like clear your cache and Google the item and get it, making sure I don't get commission. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. People are just...
That's insane.
You get everything when it comes to like, putting yourself out on the internet, right?
Literally everything. I
Yeah.
always revert back to the video I made of the echo beaters where I was, because I'm a big dude. So like self-conscious about my body has always been a thing. So when I made the echo beater, it's a compression tank top.
Oh,
It
okay.
hides the boobs,
Yeah.
right? It hides the man boobs. So my entire comment section was like, just work out, go to the gym, stop being fat,
Oh my
this
gosh.
and that. The amount of hate that you get in the comment
Oh my
sections
gosh,
is
yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah, I have so many keywords blocked just because I get probably 200 or more a week of like hate comments.
And it makes no
Yeah.
sense because all you're doing is showing off
Yeah.
clothing and what you think is cute. Like, why hate?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but it's everything. You'll get the weirdest things. Like,
I do have a question for you because you are, a woman in the space promoting clothing. Do you get a male audience or is it only female audience?
I do, but I tend to block a lot of them.
Right, because a lot of them can be weird.
Because
Like
they're just
Kaylee,
creepy.
100%.
Yeah.
One of our creators has, Kaylee, right?
Yeah.
She gets the weirdest dudes in her DMs. People saying that they'll send her $300 a week for a toe pic. It's the weirdest stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I just instantly block. I don't even.
Good. Because I always wondered that though, because you're promoting only women style products. So I just didn't know if you did end up getting a male audience.
Well, and that goes back to like when I said I put this off for 2 years. I didn't want to be out there, and it was mostly for safety purposes. Like, I'm not scared of the criticism. Like, I've been called everything. My daughter gets really mad. She'll be like, "Did you see this comment?" And I'm like, whatever, that person's so sad. They have nothing else to do but like comment on other people's stuff. Why do you care? I don't even, like, it doesn't faze me at all. It's more the safety aspect because people are weird. Actually, my friend was live the other day. Some dude posted her address on her live.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like 3 days ago. And instantly, because I have a little group chat with some star creators that I met at the event, and we all put it in our block list, like our address, so it doesn't show up.
Yep. Yeah, you have
to. They had her phone number. They were texting her. They were like just, cursing at her. Just, I don't know. It's so scary.
Internet's a scary place, and your information's not as safe as you think it is.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. Anything. If you have a presence online, people can find out anything and everything they want to know about you.
Yeah.
It's a very scary place. But it's good for you to practice, internet safety. There's always good things for that, blocking your address and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Having a redirect on your IP, those are extremely important things to have. However, a lot of people don't understand that or don't know how to implement that. But, I'm thinking maybe we should do something in Social Army, practice internet safety.
I would love that.
It'd be nice.
I would love that. Yeah.
It'd be really nice.
I know
for us
a
to do
lot
like
of women have struggled with those type of things in the past.
And it's not fair. It's not fair at all to you guys. You're just out there trying to do you. And, of course, we have just disgusting, vile humans in the world that do not care.
Right.
So that's horrible. Well, I'm glad you're able to, take care of it in the way that, need to, and that you take the precautionary measures to just block and delete immediately, because that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
So I do have a question. You said your daughter helps you edit your videos and things like that. Does she have an interest in possibly doing TikTok Shop when she's able to?
She's not 18 yet though. She'll be 18 in 3 months. So I'm like, start building your following. I honestly worry about like the things that people say. I know I have thick skin, but it's, come very far from my teenage years. I don't know how I would have reacted to that, being exposed to that as a teen. But I'm hoping that her seeing me completely unfazed by these people will help her, because it's like they'll say anything, like, oh, you're so ugly, you're so fat, this and that. And I'm like, I really don't care what people say. It doesn't bother me. Just delete and move on. At the end of the day, this is my job, and it's one of the best jobs that I could have because I get to stay home, with my kids. I was gone all weekends with, weddings. And now that my kids are in school full time, I didn't want to use the little weekends that I had, like the little weekend time that I had to be gone. So I really have to just ignore that and just drown out the noise and focus on what's best for me. And
100%.
Just ignore them. They're strangers at the end of the day. They don't know anything about you, so it shouldn't matter.
Their opinions don't pay your bills.
Exactly.
So screw them. And the best part is with this stuff is you can choose whether or not you want to read the comments anyway. You don't have to open up that comment section.
Right.
Granted, it's hard not to sometimes because you're curious.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You can always use those keyword filters. And that's what the cool thing is about TikTok is TikTok is really big against like anti-bullying. Granted, they don't take down the right bullying comment sometimes. But you can filter out keywords in your comment section that allows people,
Yeah, but also if
what
you
they can
report
and can't
it,
say.
a lot of times they'll be blocked from posting comments or using
Right.
DMs for a certain amount of time. So if it's something that's like directly offensive, I'll report it, and they'll say yes, it did, go against our community guidelines, and I'm sure they've gotten restricted for that. So
Yep. Yeah, I've done it a few times. Unfortunately, I can't remove the bot accounts that pretend to be me, even though I've submitted
Yeah.
all the proof in the world
I've
that
had
they're
that
not
too.
me.
I've had that too on Instagram. It's crazy.
That's so frustrating. Well, Gisselle, I want to thank you for your time here today. I think we're about wrapping up in terms of our time and everything that we've done, but I want to thank you for shedding light on some of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's the fact that people will steal your content, and that you can fight it, and you can come out on top if you know what you're doing. Hopefully that sheds some light in some areas for some other people who have been struggling with that, because I know these companies, these brands, they don't have any shame, and they'll steal anything they possibly can for a profit. So just keep yourself protected. Anybody who's watching this, and take these things with a grain of salt. Don't go attacking a company. If try to talk to them first and see if you can resolve it on your own, and if you can't, take the necessary measures to make it happen. And pay attention to what you're doing. Be very cognizant about your presence online, because the internet's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
But aside from that, if you guys have any thoughts or any curiosity about joining Social Army, we will be leaving a link down below. That link is going to be Gisselle's direct link, so you are able to sign up, and it'll benefit her directly. We'd love to have you guys on the inside. If you're curious about any of the other episodes that we have, please subscribe to the channel or follow us on Spotify, and go back and take a look at all the episodes that we've done. I think I've done over 30 of these podcast episodes with people from all walks of life and people in all different types of niches, and just categories of products and things of that nature. So it's really, really eye-opening. And the best part is it's free. The podcast is completely free to watch. You don't have to pay for it at all. But yeah, outside of that, Gisselle, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you for opening up about some of the things that you've, had to deal with on here, and for sharing your experiences with us. It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
All right, well, you guys, I think this concludes another episode of the Social Army podcast today. I appreciate you guys all for being here, and we hope to see you guys on the inside. See you later.